Hello, I'm Lauren with IndoorGardening.com, and today we're going to talk about the most attractive pink plants for your home. Now, most of the time when we think of plants, we think of adding the color green to our home, adding green to our spaces, making a green wall or a green space. Today we want to highlight the beautiful pink plants that are out there, just naturally gorgeous, beautiful pink plants that are going to continue to be pink as they grow and add even more color to your home other than just their beautiful green. First up, we have begonia. Begonia have beautiful, fuzzy, sparkly, gorgeous leaves. They have a whole bunch of different kinds of variegation going on. They usually have pink veination, pink foliage, and or pink stems as well. They can come in all different kinds of beautiful, intricate patterns. They can have little scalloped edges. They can be the most beautiful, gorgeous plants that you have ever seen. And begonia can survive in a variety of conditions. There are some that like highlight, there are some that like low light, there are some that are little terrarium plants, then there are other ones that they prefer to be outdoors in bright light. They get big and beautiful, and then they have pink blooms to boot. Then there are the begonia that like to just sit on your little tabletop and relax and enjoy. And those are the ones that are going to sit at natural humidity, and they can get huge. There are also cane begonia that get very large as well, almost to the same size as bamboo and very thick. Gorgeous plants. Next we have the Stramanthe Triostar, which is a beautiful prayer plant that comes in beautiful pink variegation. It's got pink on the front, and then it's got like a deep purplish pink on the back for the foliage. It looks like a neon beautiful hot pink when you have light shining through and you're looking at it from the backside. Gorgeous plant. The one caveat though is this plant is a little bit finicky. They like higher humidity. They usually have some type of crispy tips because they're very, very particular. They're very particular about their water. So if there's a high concentration of minerals or chemicals in the water, even well water has been a little bit tricky with these plants, trying to get them to be happy. If you do decide to get a Stramanthe Triostar, definitely get a bigger size, because when you get the smaller ones, you're going to notice those imperfections a lot more often. But if you get a bigger one, then it's going to be beautiful and gorgeous. If it loses a leaf here, has a crispy tip there, you're not even going to notice. No one else will either. All you will see is the gorgeousness of that pink. And it's totally worth it because it is so beautiful. Definitely give it a try, especially if you're a more experienced plant parent and you just can't resist pink plants. Next up, we wanted to talk about the Syngonium neon robusta. Syngoniums are very fast growers. They do not need a lot of light. They like to climb, or they will get very bushy as they sit in their pots, and then they will kind of trail out and over places. Absolutely gorgeous plants, very fun to grow. The neon robusta in particular is one of many varieties of pink Syngoniums out there. Syngoniums do need a little bit more light if they're going to keep their color. If you keep them in just low light, then they're going to turn green slowly over time. Here is a prime example of that. You can see where it used to have pink and then it's totally faded back now, and it is back down to just green for the most part with a little bit of pink in there. And that's how a lot of Syngonium are going to be. They're not going to have a lot of color on them if you're keeping them in lower light. They will just lose that variegation. They won't need that extra protection from the sun. So if you would like more coloration on your Syngoniums and you want to keep that beautiful pink, try giving it a little bit more light. If it starts to burn, you can always scoot it back a little bit and kind of test it out that way for your home, because everyone's home is different. Next, we wanted to talk about the Tradescantia nanook. This plant has taken the plant community by storm over the last few years. It's beautiful, striped, it trails and creeps out. It's very fun and easy to propagate, but Tradescantia in general love to grow. They grow very quickly, very easily. You can just take cuttings and shove them back in the soil to make a more bigger, bushier plant, and you can get little pots of this for fairly inexpensive, and they are gorgeous even as tiny plants. Absolutely stunning, very easy care. Just let them dry out, relax box, put them in quite a bit of sun, they'll grow like crazy for you. Next up is the Peperomia Pink Lady. This is an absolutely stunning plant, one of our favorites. It is so gorgeous. It comes up with these beautiful splotches of pink variegation. It will lose its variegation if given lower light, but then when given higher light again, that variegation will come back. It's very, very cool to see. This is part of a Peperomia caparata variety, so they prefer to have a higher humidity. They don't like to dry out nearly as much as other Peperomia. They're a little bit more finicky. If you are going to get one of these and not keep them in a terrarium, then definitely make sure you are getting a bigger, more hardier version. The smaller versions really like to be in a terrarium, high humidity environment. The coloration though is gorgeous. Even if you get a tiny one, you don't have a terrarium, you can put them in a cloche and they look very, very cute there. Next up we have a Photonia. These are water hogs. They absolutely love water. They love to be overwatered. They love to constantly be wet, and when they are not wet and they dry out too much, they droop over and they look all sad and they act like they have completely passed on. But they're still going to be fine. You just give them a little bit of water, turn them to their side, let them soak up all of that water and get it back in their stems, and they'll perk right back up just fine. They come in a variety of colors. We've definitely mentioned them on the channel before, but today in particular we wanted to talk about Photonia Frankie. Photonia Frankie is one of many pink Photonias. The difference between Photonia Frankie and a lot of other Photonias is that Frankie gets very, very pink and has very delicate, lacy, ruffled looking edges. Very gorgeous plant. The more light you keep it in, the more pink it's going to have. It's going to kind of sprawl out in places. They are creeping plants. If you don't give them enough light, then they will get higher and taller. Seeking out that light, they will become exfoliated. But if you keep them in really good light, then they'll kind of stay lower down to the ground and they'll kind of spread out in their pot. It looks really, really cool. All of these beautiful pink houseplants can bring a lot of color to your home. Most of them are pretty easy care, and if they're not easy care, you know about it ahead of time, so that way you can see if they're going to work in your conditions with your own care requirements. They are absolutely gorgeous plants. All of these plants are pretty fast growers, so even if you get them smaller, you can have a very big, beautiful pink plant very shortly. A lot of them don't get too big, like a Photonia and a Pink Lady Peperomia, for example. They go great on little shelves. It just depends on where you're needing this plant to go. But if you like pink, then one of these plants is going to work beautifully in your home. Be sure to check out indoorgardening.com if you need more information. We're always happy to help. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!